Hey, what's happening? You already know what it is, man. This is your boy Ryan Walker, better known as the historian. We're gonna do a little something different. Try to get something going once a week at least. We call this the Dirty Bird's Eye View in the traffic jam. So while you in the jam, you can listen to us. We're gonna talk a little bit about Falcons football this week. I know we've been a little hesitant on that because we haven't had much information to come through, but camp is starting now. So you already know that we got some stuff that's coming for you. But before you do, please go ahead and click the subscribe button on YouTube if you're there, so we can continue to bring you a lot of the flavors we always do, even on Thursday nights or whatnot. And if you're on StreamYard, click the link so we can interact with you. I got my guy Scoop, aka the Black Wall Street, coming through, and we're gonna drop a little something for you today. So go ahead, sit back, relax, get ready to ride with us, and just enjoy the show. We got a little something for you today. Bring it on, Ghost.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
Hey, welcome back. Again, please hit that subscribe button or whatnot. We're doing a little traffic day, bird's eye view from the traffic jam. You already know how it goes, but better yet, let's just call this the Dirty Bird's Eye. You already know how we get down, baby. Dirty Birds for life, man. So welcome to the cage. I got to bring in my guy, the Black Wall Street, better known as Scoop. He already comes through from the ones and twos. You already know what's going on. What's happening, Scoop?
What's happening? What's happening, Birdcage?
Hey
What's
man,
good?
another day. You know how it goes. One of our partners is out of town enjoying the Florida sunshine. Shout out to our boy Killian K Dub. You
All
already
right,
know. We
K
waiting
Dub.
for him. We waiting for him to get back. And shout out to all the rest of the crew. You already know how it is. Gray Beard. We got the first lady of the Birdcage, Coach Brant, Coach Cam, Run It Back Turbo, and a big shout out to my boy Big Melton, man. You already know what it is. He's holding it down up there in the Dirty Dime, better known as Tennessee. So let's get to it, man. So this has been an interesting offseason so far, from the free agents that we brought in to the draft picks to now we're starting to get to the meat and potatoes now. We're finally getting ready to get into training camp. And with a lot of the stuff that's going on with training camp or whatnot, you already know how everything gets down and it gets dirty during this time of year because guys are fighting for a job right now. Yeah, they all are on the Falcons, but it's not guaranteed that they make that 53-man roster spot. Unfortunately, today we're going to start off with a little gloom news. Mr. Duke Huntley, better known as Caleb Huntley, was cut today. And I think if he wouldn't have had that Achilles injury, I don't think he gets cut. And honestly, I think we still have a great 1-2 punch with him and with your guy Tyler Algier. What do you feel is if now that Duke Huntley's cut, we do have Bijan Robinson now that we drafted. Do you think we would have made the move for Bijan even with Caleb Huntley here if he'd have continued running the way that he was running before he got hurt?
To be honest with you, yes, because Bijan represents a Swiss Army knife. Probably the same salivating that he had for Cordell Patterson when he signed him is the same thing he has for Bijan. Now, the significant thing about Duke is Duke was placed on the PUP list prior to the cut. Now, we do have an undrafted free agent on the roster, Carlos Washington, if I'm not mistaken. And, man, it's going to be a count battle, but, the ball can only go so many times to so many people. So, you just gotta take it what it is. And Duke has made a great impression on the NFL, coming from being undrafted and balling out. He a Georgia kid, so I wish him the best. And it ain't the end of because he's still young. And hopefully we don't have any injuries, but yeah, I always have a home here in Atlanta.
Well, you already know the thing that a lot of people aren't paying attention to is the fact that we possibly could end up with Duke coming back. He might just stay down to the practice squad right where he was originally. And honestly, right. From what I saw last year, I don't want to lose a running back like a Duke Huntley, honestly, because we know he would be valuable in many other systems and they wouldn't have to pay him top dollar as they would some of these other cats that are in the system. And speaking of top dollar, let's get to it. Let's talk about the running back market. Pretty much is still in the air right now. Now, the New York Giants, so for those who don't know, the New York Giants were one of the original teams that helped start off with the NFL back in the day when the NFL first started. They were one of the original teams. The Mara family has always done right by their players when it comes to money. Now, some players know, but for the most part, when it comes to the face of their franchise and individuals who will put butts in seats and not just butts in seats, you're going to also look at the fact that is a huge market. Saquon Barkley puts butts in seats because of what he can do with his legs, period. He was one of the guys that I wish we could have got. I'm just going to be honest with you. But when you look at the value of running backs now and what's going on, most running backs now are there. The value of a running back now is not the same as it once was when Emmitt Smith was playing, or Walter Payton, or Eric Dickerson. These guys,
the bell cow.
The bell cow. Most of these guys aren't even 3 down backs anymore. You have more guys that are 2 down backs. You have a few that are still 3 down backs now, like a Nick Chubb or a Derrick Henry. But if you go ahead and look at a lot of the guys around the league, think about it. James Cook was let go. Dalvin Cook was let go. I'm thinking of his little brother, but Dalvin Cook was let go from the Minnesota Vikings this year because they didn't want to pay that money for him. They actually have Abdullah that's still there. And they actually have younger backs that are coming in. And he also had a knee injury on top of that. So when you look at the market for running backs now, it's really not a secure position. It's still a marquee position, but they're not going to pay you like a marquee player is being paid right now. What do you think the meeting that Nick Chubb and all of these great running backs that are in the NFL right now, what do you think their mindset is right now? Because Chubb said they were handcuffed to keep it clean. How do you feel these guys are really going to react to this market?
So this is the thing, and ownership got the upper hand on everybody. When you take like the Shanahan coaching tree, and I would even put in, Arthur Smith. The fact that Arthur Smith has created a running scheme that, you've got Cordell Patterson going from a cast-off special teams return specialist to an all everyday back and excelling at it and becoming a top 100 player. Like when you take that into consideration, and then you take in the fact that these 2 recent Super Bowl participants with Philly and Kansas City. Kansas City featured a back that was a 7th round pick in Isaiah Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things are taken into consideration when you get to the bargaining table and you're asking about a second contract for running backs. So with the running back situation and the running back market, now it is what it is right now because no team is like buying into the whole bell cow, you earning a second contract, theme. And it's unfortunate because, I don't talk to NFL players and typically on that rookie contract, you kind of chill and you tell your family to chill. But that second contract, that's when you call them mama and tell them, hey, you ain't gotta go to work today. So it's gonna be interesting how it goes down. And like I know that you seen the draft recently, and here we are. We got two draft picks with Bijan Robinson going to us and Jahmyr Gibbs going to Detroit in the first round. Like that was other backs, man, that was still quality backs that was in the draft, and it's coming to fruition that it's a turnstile. Once them backs get past their rookie contract, I'm looking for the new face. I'm looking for the new blood.
So got to give a shout out to our guy Damian Mitchell, son of the late great Jim Mitchell, one of the Falcons unicorns.
Damian a good dude.
I got to say unicorn, brother, because that man wasn't nothing but the truth. You already know what it is, man. Dude was really a different kind of back. Oh Lord, we got somebody coming in from the road. He's in the midst of the traffic today. My man K-Dub.
K-Dub. What it do, man?
Just want to
check. Hey man, look. Now look, we're not responsible for any kind of accidents going on the road. And while we're out here, I gotta shout out my man Tony Jackson, 3 times champ sports. Check him out. He does his thing. He comes on here. He shows us love on this podcast too, and he definitely helps out. So we gotta give a shout out to that. And the Facebook user, I see you or whatnot. I just don't see your name. If you can click that StreamYard link for us, man, we definitely want to recognize you for coming in during this traffic jam, baby. So, Killian, man, you enjoying the Central Florida sunshine. You're less than an hour and a half away from Jacksonville, Florida. Them boys out of Duval County. Them
Decatur with water.
Jaguars. The new home of the gambler, Mr. Calvin Ridley. You know we'll throw that in there today.
Most definitely. What's up? But, just wanted to check in. I'm gonna let y'all get there hold it because I'm in some real track.
So here's the question I got for you. While we got you on here, because you getting ready to step or whatnot, let's call it what it is, man. What do you think about the running back market? Because we have a Facebook user that talked about guys like DeMarco Murray, Chris Johnson, Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell played a major role in creating the market for running backs. Now, the question I have for you is, why do you think that owners now see less value in running backs when it comes to paying? Because I can tell you the player agreement right now is going to have to be reset. It's going to have to be reset. And that's going to be a little bit later, but most of these guys that are trying to get this money now are going to be way out of the league by then.
To be honest, they are seeing that a combination of running backs is better right now because of the fact that, it's less wear and tear on the body of just one running back like back in the day. So, they're seeing and experimenting with 2 backs. They're seeing, that it's a better formula for them, and it also saves them money. Anything that saves money, they're going to go ahead and continue to go with. So, it's a bad thing for the running back, but, you got to start, as you're a youngster, you got to learn from that and start going into other positions that pay money. I'm not saying that the running back position is not needed, but if you're trying to make a big money, if you're trying to make a lot of money in your career, then you may need to choose a different position other than running back right now.
I agree. And the thing you think about now is the player agreement, pretty much with the bargaining table with the NFLPA and also with the owners and whatnot. That's got to be rehashed. But right now, like you said, the running backs are handcuffed for like the next 6 years. For the next six, 7 years. So most of these running backs that are in the league now will be out of the league by then, or they'll be on their way out of the league before this money gets resurfaced and rehashed and how they change it. Because, like you said, the two-back system that's going on, there were a lot of teams that ran a lot of two-back systems back in the day who really saved wear and tear. Like, I can give you this here. Arthur Smith, our head coach, like I always said, he learned from Joe Gibbs. If you ever look at it, Joe Gibbs kept 2 to 3 running backs with the Washington Redskins back in the 80s and the early 90s when he was a force to be reckoned with in the NFC. Because you think about it, when he first went to Washington, he got John Riggins out of retirement. He had Joe Washington. Then it moves from those two to you having Clarence Harmon, and then you have George Rogers, and then you have Timmy Smith, and then you go from those two to Gerald Riggs he got from the Falcons, and then you have Ernest Biner, and I always forget Ricky Evans. That was the other running back that he had. So if you look at it, he's always had interchangeable systems with backs. Marty Schottenheimer, one of the coaches that was from one of our former guests, Coach Anthony Blaylock, shout out to you. Appreciate you coming through. As we discussed off the record, he talked about the Cleveland Browns. You had Ernest Biner, Milledgeville, Georgia's own, and then you had Kevin Mack, and then you had Herman Fontenot, who was the third down back that could run between the tackles and catch the ball. So when you look at it, a multiple back system has always been here, but teams were hesitant on getting to that. But now that you're seeing that they're saving money and they're able to use guys plug and play, it's really different. What and I gotta ask Scoop this one here, and I'm gonna kick it to you, Killian. So with me bringing that up, and you look at what's going on with the Falcons right now, really the Falcons literally have a plethora of weapons in that backfield right now. And you think about what happened Tyler Allgeier's rookie year. Damian Williams is supposed to be the starter. He gets hurt. He's done for the year. Then you get Caleb Huntley to come in. You know, once Duke Huntley starts doing his thing, because Tyler Allgeier was off to a slow start trying to get his footing, he gets hurt. And then you have Cordell Patterson that was banged up. And then they start sharing carries. So, and then you see a little bit of Avery Williams. So you can't have more than enough backs. What do you think that Atlanta's secret recipe is going to be this year to have a great running game to replenish and repeat what they've done for the past couple of years since Arthur Smith has been in Atlanta?
So the secret recipe is going to be our draft pick, Matt Bergeron. I think that you solidify that line and you get some consistency with that line, that it speaks volumes as far as running game, because now we're on full cylinder now, because we was working with half a line last year and we still had a top 5 rushing offense. I'm glad you brought up Damian Williams, because I want to say this. I'm truly pissed off about the fact that Damian Williams took up a roster spot. And if y'all don't remember that Tyler Allgeier was a healthy what we call it scratch for that first game against New Orleans. Now, just imagine how our season would have started off had Tyler Allgeier started game 1 versus New Orleans. You got to set the tone on game 1. So, yeah, thank you for reminding me about Damian Williams. That kind of pissed me off. Thank you. But, yeah, man, Matt Bergeron, I think, is going to be that secret recipe. He's going to be that secret sauce.
Well, I really think that with everything that we got going on and whatnot, I think that I think Arthur Smith has learned that you gotta have a whole bunch of backs because you can't have enough. So Kelly, the same question to you. Now Tony Jackson talked about we got to get out of the bottom with passing. We already know we got to get the passing game rolling, and that's gonna be Ritter's job. But we talking about the running back side of the house right now. We've beaten the quarterback side of the house to death. To death. How do you feel this running game is really going to balance out this offense? Because if we got to play from behind or whatnot, I mean, what are these guys going to do to help us get into a place where we're going to make things right?
Well, I mean, Coach Arthur Smith, his philosophy is to run the football, but if we get behind in the game, then his philosophy has to flip.
we do have to get those receivers wide open and get the offense going in the passing game and get basically have an even balance to our offense. So we basically that's how his playbook and his play calling will go based upon, situational football. If we're ahead in the game, we're gonna run it heavily. But if we get behind in the game, if we need points, then we will spread it out and use all these new receivers that we brought in. But I mean, just a balance of running backs with everybody we brought in. I just feel like we just don't really know what kind of sets or what kind of formations we're going to come out in, and it's going to really scare people. And we're going to attack, in ways that just we haven't been able to attack because the 2 years we've been here, we haven't had the horses in the stable to. Now
see, he running through that Florida traffic.
Yeah.
That's not on our end. That's on that. That's in Central Florida, boy. It's still country around that way.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. But that's what I see happening with the Falcons. I feel like we're gonna just be very diverse with the way we're gonna attack people, and this the league, even our fans. Our fans are gonna be surprised, exactly how he's gonna call it. He's able to flip the page in his playbook and open his playbook up really wide, and you'll be able to see that with the players that we brought in this year.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. And here's the thing that I've been preaching about for the longest when it comes to this offense. It's the line. It's the line. The question is, can this offensive line pass the test? Because we can run all day. We obviously can, like Anthony Moss was saying, we can oppose our will on these folks. Anybody that's in front of us, we can oppose our will. But the question is, can we pass the ball? Can we pass the test? Because we apparently have seen highlights of Ritter being able to drop dimes and being able to put the ball in good places when he's got time. Now, the issue has never been quarterbacks that can't throw the ball. The problem is, can you give them at least 2.5, 3 seconds to get rid of the football? That's the question. Because if you can't you're not going to get 4 seconds in the NFL. With the way that the NFL is now, you're not going to get 4 seconds. Who has background noise going on?
Is it me?
I don't know. It's one of you guys. All right, there's this. So when we bring you back in and kick it to you, just hit the unmute button, K-Dub. So just think about it. We're in a position where we have a quarterback that's got to prove himself. And you have an offensive line that was gelling last year when it came to the passing game and put themselves in a spot to where they could do a few things. But the question is, are they going to at least let the kid get used to throwing a little bit more opposed to just leaning on these running backs? Because he's going to have games where he's going to have to throw the football because they're going to stack 8, 9 in the box. And they're going to make you say, hey, he got to beat us with his arm, period. And so if we put guys in there, if we put Desmond Ritter in a situation we have to lean on him to win a game, we're going to have better pass protection. We can run block all day, but the pass protection, Arthur Smith needs to get fixed. Because I think if we get the pass protection fixed, I really believe that we can possibly really do some things. That's just my opinion on that. And we had a Facebook user just came in. He says, as a team, we run the ball even when we're behind. Arthur knows run the ball with Bijan, Tyler, and CP84 will move the ball out of the offensive line to impose their will when it comes to that.
That's Coach Cam
running the ball. Yeah, we were a top team, Coach Cam. We hear you, but at the same time, you got to be able to throw the football. You can't run every play because you got to think about it. We're going to run out of timeouts eventually. Clock control is an issue, bro.
So I think that it was a combination of things last year. Arthur also may have had or lost confidence in seeing Marcus step back or drop back and throw the ball. So the easier thing for him to say is, hey, Marcus, we just going to keep handing the ball off. I'm going to hand the ball off 14 straight times. Instead of you dropping back and throwing the ball, you just going to hand the ball off. And he could trust that. So part of the issue is the offensive line, yes. And again, you had asked the question about fixing anything or the recipe. the secret sauce is Matt Bergeron, in my opinion. But I think that Desmond Ritter is a upgrade as far as a passer go compared to Marcus Mariota.
Well, I think, and truthfully, I think if we had, I go old school for you, man. When we talk about tight ends, I think if we had a Junior Miller or a Jim Mitchell playing on this offensive line, I think they were eating this offense when it comes to the passing game and the blocking game. Let's just be real on that. Now
I see you throwing some brownie points at Damien. I see you doing that. I see you.
Hey man, you got to throw it out there. And then you got OJ Santiago, who was another good one that we had outside of Tony G. I'm just speaking on other tight ends that don't get talked about outside of Tony G. I got to put that out there, bro, because let's just be real. We've had some good ones. You know what I'm saying? We've had some good ones. And again, we got to be in a situation. We got to be in a situation where I'm sitting here laughing my behind off right now because you said
Damien, my guy, man. We always talking. Damien, my guy.
Nah, you cold-blooded though. But I got to throw him some brownie points though, man. Got to throw some bones, man. He come in here and show us love, so you got to show some points. But let's just be real though. Yeah, we're running a tight end offense. Okay, Scotty Miller and Kadero Hodges the speed, but can Scotty Miller stay healthy? That's the other question. Can he stay healthy? Because when he's healthy, he's very productive, and he can be very disruptive to a defense. But most teams are like, okay, he'll be out by week 6 guarding the Gatorade pool.
Which is fine, but guess what? I got another name for you, because we got this punt return situation too. Josh Ali.
Josh Ali out of Kentucky. Very dangerous player. But here's the question. We don't know what he can do in a ball game. We know it. We know punt returning and kick returning, that right there translates. The only thing he's got to get down is the speed of the game. Catching the ball and taking off running for your life behind blockers, that's going to translate. But the question is this. Can he translate into an NFL wide receiver? He was an underrated player coming out of Kentucky.
I'm rooting for him.
And we ended up cutting little Julio Jones out of Buffalo. That hurt my heart because the kid impressed me. But he's gonna be on the practice squad, so maybe he can get some time on special teams. So I just think it's a lot that we can possibly do with these new pieces that we have in this passing game. So K-Dub, question for you. Now that we're talking about tight ends and pass catches, we're gonna kick this one to K-Dub. Mycole Pruitt is back in the fold. We re-signed him, and I know he's gonna be seen as a camp body, as my man Scoop said earlier. Don't be hurting my feelings like that, Scoop. I liked him. He reminds you of those old throwback tight ends we used to have back in the day. Blocks hard, catches passes, and he does his job at the highest of his abilities. And he bailed us out of a couple of games too. But with Mycole Pruitt coming back, Killian, how do you feel this, his veteran leadership in that tight end room is going to kind of balance out with Jonnu Smith and trying to help Kyle Pitts recapture, pretty much capture, not even recapture because he never captured it, but capture the luster that he's supposed to have as a unicorn tight end?
Hey, I'm about to step out, guys. I'm sorry. But Mycole Pruitt.
I see you jamming. We'll catch you later, man. I see you jamming. So my man Kelly is on vacation right now. So I gotta let my man Scoop do this. He about to piss me off today. I see this now.
Let's go back to the conversation that we was having this morning, the debate that we was having this morning, because one of the comments that was made is Mycole Pruitt was signed or re-signed because they might not have faith in Kyle Pitts. Now that's probably not verbatim, but that's what you were hinting towards, right?
Nope. I'll tell you exactly what I hinted towards. I hinted towards Kyle Pitts not being ready mentally coming back from that knee injury. Now think about it. I'm not saying physically. I'm saying mentally, because it takes a toll on you when you come back from a knee injury, especially when you're getting hit as an offensive player. Terrell Davis never recovered, and TD was a monster at that running back spot. He was never the same. So the question is, can he come back and be as explosive as he was? It's easy to look good in shorts and a t-shirt, bro, when you're running through rehab. It's easy. It's hard to do it when you got guys trying to take you out. The question is, can he come back to that type player? Like, I don't think it's gonna happen immediately, but I give Kyle Pitts by the middle or possibly close to the end of the season that we see the old Kyle Pitts of how he was able just to go without hesitation. That's just me.
So I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, it took a minute for Julio to figure that out too, as well, with the ankle injury or the foot.
Yep.
But I guess what I'm getting at too is everything that you're saying is real. Like, there might be a slow process with Kyle Pitts, but at the same time, Mycole Pruitt, like, I mean, I'm cool with him kind of returning back to the team because of familiarity. Now, this just steps up the game with Jonnu Smith as well, because now you got depth in that tight end room. We probably got the deepest tight end room in the NFL when you look at the totality of everything now.
Chris Holloway, appreciate you subscribing, brother. Thank you. So Damian Mitchell had a question. I'm going to let you get this one because I got the last one. Do you think
that we can have a successful quarterback without a premier wide receiver? Now, what was frustrating, Damian, is that means that you don't consider Draco a premier wide receiver. And I'm offended by it because Draco had decent numbers to get an offensive rookie of the year consideration with a quarterback of Marcus Mariota. Now, you've seen the connection between Desmond Ridder and Draco. If Draco had his roommate from camp the entire 17 games, there wouldn't be no backsliding as far as saying that Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave was better than Draco. Because Draco, y'all got to understand this. Draco is 6'5", with basketball skills. And with the wingspan that he has, he wants to go out there and play bully ball. What he didn't realize is that he played in the Pac-12 and not the SEC. So you can't take those skills from the Pac-12 and come over here and think that you're going to bully somebody in the NFL. Like, you would have to face some people from the SEC to get that stamp, okay? So he learned his lesson. But I think that the connection that they have now, man, easily 1,000 yards. Easily 1,000 yards. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Prior to the draft, and Ryan, you can attest to this, I kept comparing Draco to Mike Evans. So I kept calling him Mike Evans 2.0. If nobody's keeping up with Mike Evans' career, Mike Evans has consistently had 1,000 yards every year in receiving.
And he's about
Draco has the ability, with us having 17 games every year, to have 1,000 yards every season.
Well, remember,
and soon he will be, if his career lasts long enough, he can also compete for that crown that number 11 and number 84 have heavily coveted over these past 2 decades. So get ready. I just think that, you got Ridder and Draco coming in as roommates. The connection is clear.
Hold up. Well, Jerry Rice still owns that record because Mike Evans is trying to break Jerry Rice's record. Randy Moss came close to it, but he didn't do it. But Jerry Rice still owns that record. So Mike Evans is actually in a position where he can actually break it this year. But he ain't breaking that record on us. He breaking on somebody else. He ain't breaking that on us. I've already said I'll come out the stands and tackle him before I let him do that in Atlanta. I'm letting you know that now. I'm one of the rowdy Atlanta fans. I don't care. I'm not like these bougie fans that want to sip tea with their pinkies up in there. No, I'm rowdy. I'm gonna come up out in my shirt. I'm literally coming on the field and I tackle him myself. I'm gonna go back to my old safety days. Hey, I might get carted off and put in jail or whatever for it, but he ain't breaking that record up in Atlanta. I'm just saying.
You definitely going to jail. You going straight to jail. Right straight.
The jail right across the street. As soon as I get out, all I'm gonna do is give me some lemon pepper wings wet up out of Magic City. I got a cloud with that one, man. But on a serious tip, though, you have to give Draco his credit because he adjusted. He seriously adjusted after he had those fumbles. But there was one ball that wasn't fumbled, and it was a person that was a man, a grown man, who snatched it from him like a child getting his toy taken from him from his dad.
No, like Debo snatched that chain from Red.
Hey, I wasn't gonna disrespect them like that. Now, see, you disrespecting our own players now. I at least said somebody daddy taking the toy. You said Debo. That's worse. You're a grown man. You're a grown man getting your chain snatched. You got the ball taken from you like a little Mac. Mac jogged up. If you watch the play, Mac actually jogged over there and just ripped it from him easily. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. Now he got to stop wearing those daggum sleeves. Seriously.
He got to stop wearing those sleeves and he got to get in the weight room, man. Just like I say, man, you can't try to bully folks when you came about the Pac-12, man. You gotta realize that you in the NFL, they hit hard on Sundays and they ain't finna be bullied.
So somebody just said, how many men are holding the ball when Khalil Mack got his hands on you? There's plenty of folks that hold on to the ball. That's part of your job as an offensive player. Why would you even ask such an asinine question like that? Hold up, I gotta have a moment. And I'm not gonna go off. I'm not gonna act like other people when you get mad about something. I'm just gonna stay calm. I'll say this. You have to understand, ball security is a part of your job as an offensive player. If you can't hold on to the ball, you're not gonna hold on to a job. Point blank, period. You can't hold on to a job if you can't hold on to the ball. And all he had to do is go down. But that's a rookie mistake. He was trying to be the hero. You got to understand, you have to know when to be a hero and when to learn to fight another day. As Pop said in Friday, he said, you live to fight another day. He didn't live to fight another day. You have to know when to go down and when to do that, hands down. But hey, learning experience. This year, he has no excuse. All those fumbles that he had, you're saying, they did a report on you. I put it this way. You put a report on you, and the reporters come to camp and look at you training in your off time of you trying different grips and different ways to hold on to the ball to figure that out. You're not going to truly figure that out until you're in the midst of running down the field and somebody's trying to punch it from you and you're not even thinking about it. It's just what it is. But one thing is, you said, I gotta give it to them old Alabama receivers, when they're not getting in trouble or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They can hold on to the football. I got to give it to them. They can hold on to the football. Georgia receivers do it a little bit better, but Hines Ward got to get to the Hall of Fame though. But he got a couple of, he got a Super Bowl ring and the MVP. So we ain't doing, our Bulldog boys ain't doing too bad either. So I had to throw that out there for my man Chris Holloway because he's a Bama fan. So we always be going back and forth. But lastly, players arrive at training camp, ladies and gentlemen. Scoop, what do you really think is gonna happen in training camp right now when it comes to these guys fighting for positions? Do you think it's gonna be more competitive than it's ever been, or do you think it's really gonna be an environment where some guys think they got it made?
No, I think it's gonna be competitive, more competitive, and probably by far, I'd probably say in the last 10 to 15 years, probably the most competitive training camp, and it's really saying a lot. It's probably gonna be the most competitive training camp that they done had in a while, and the reason being is because of the mix of young guys and veterans, and also the mentality of Arthur Smith. Like Coach Arthur Smith gives off that old school bravado, and it's more so you got to earn it. So I don't think that it's a situation where no job is safe, but at the same time, like you got people like Draco, you got people like Kyle Pitts, You got people like Desmond Ritter, where they said that going into camp he was gonna be the starter. Grady Jarrett, AJ Terrell, they for a fact that they're gonna start, but that doesn't mean that the training camp won't be difficult for them.
Well,
And
you
that's
got
how
a
I'm looking at
camp
it.
going on
Yeah, man,
behind you.
my son ought to train out here.
It's okay. He outside. It's summertime.
Right.
But guess what? He enjoying the last few days of the summer because he got to go back to school soon. So it's okay. We in the bird cage, man. We love the kids, man. We love the kids. That's why we keep everything clean. That's why we try to keep everything clean and to a minimum when it comes to profanity, ladies and gentlemen. Because we have kids that watch the show, and we also have kids that are in the vicinity. So
Family
we all
show.
got a lot of love. What'd you say, brother?
I said it's a family show. Family show.
Yeah. Now
On
if
the
we
perch.
lose, now hold on. Now if we lose to the Saints or something like that, then it becomes a little X-rated. I ain't gonna even sit there alone. I got to hold myself accountable, and it's hard to hold myself accountable if we lose to them darn bagheads. The only thing they got good is that food that's down in New Orleans, man. You already know what it is. But I won't even. Here's the thing. But that's the only thing they get credit for me with, because every time we play them, I hope we just go ahead and stomp the brakes off of them. That's just me. And if you don't want to, and if you think I'm a little too vulgar with it, I'm being clean with it, because Scoop has heard me talk about the Saints off the record.
So the segue to the New Orleans Saints, they had a signing today.
Oh, that's right. They signed. They got somebody out of the nursing home.
Right. Somebody that done took a sabbatical.
He been stealing checks for the last 6-7 years.
Yeah, he a certain redhead that done gave us a lot of headaches over the years.
Yeah,
and made his way back to New Orleans.
Well, I didn't know that many redheads came out of the U. I'm just gonna be real with you on that. But it seemed like the University of Miami tight ends have been a nuisance to the Atlanta Falcons since Jeremy Shockey and freaking Greg Olsen for the Panthers. And now you talk about Jimmy Graham going back. Man, we ain't worried about Jimmy Graham getting signed for a year. Hey, go ahead and get your Geritol, get your Wheaties, get everything you can, because you're getting ready to get broke down like a fraction. And your old teammate, Calais Campbell, will see you on the field. Trust me. Might be trying to help you up, but I hope he don't. I hope he step on your hand. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And then after the game, he'll help you up. But during the game, I want him to kick dirt in your eye. Well,
might be a Zoe Carter or Bud Dupree crackback.
I'm telling, hey, well, we can't kick dirt no more because we got this fake turf or whatever. Well, kick some of the shredded rubber in his eye. Something. Do something. I need a bad guy on the team. I need somebody that's gonna piss the referee off or something. Give me one of those. Tired of these church boys that like to hold hands and sing kumbaya and say, I ain't got nothing wrong because I love the Lord. I'm gonna tell you that now. I love Jesus Christ. I don't know everybody else's affiliation, who you believe in. It's all good. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. But I need somebody to forget. I need somebody to forget they know Jesus on Sunday and turn into a demon. I'm just gonna be real with you on that. For those 3 hours, you don't know the Lord Jesus. That's what I need. Lord, forgive me, Mr. Terrence Mathis. Please forgive me for saying that, brother. I know God is still working on me, but that's that competitor coming out. I need somebody that's gonna forget the Lord while the game is going on, and then after the game, they rekindle. Yes, Lord, I'm gonna donate to my church my 10%. I was playing Sunday, so I'm gonna go ahead and how would you say I'm gonna cash app your Rev? But all I can say is I think we gonna be all right. I ain't worried about Jimmy G's old, his old behind.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll handle bid and we'll take care of bid. And I got my new safety back there, JB3. So I finally got a free safety back there. I've been waiting all these years for a free safety, and I finally got one. Praise the Lord.
Let's be real. We haven't had one since Willie Moore.
And I consider Willie more of a strong safety because
Yeah,
I mean that the range of Jesse is
it's
gonna speak volumes when Sunday comes.
he's rated. To me, I feel like he should have been rated in the top 3 for safeties in the league. If you go back and look at his footage, he held that Cincinnati back end by himself because them corners was suspect at Cincinnati. Eli Apple, suspect. I mean, he was holding that whole secondary down by himself, really.
Well, in this division, they're gonna try him, and I'm
No
looking
way.
forward to it.
Well, hey, I'm okay because he played in the passing division, so go for it. Think about it. When you go up against Joe Burrow every day in practice, you get to see Lamar Jackson. A lot of people don't believe it, but yes, Lamar can throw the ball, even though he's not a Falcon. Yes, he can throw. Then you look now, he had to deal with Ben Roethlisberger all those years. So he played against dudes that can sling the rock. That wasn't a problem at all. So now we got Derek Carr that's in the division, which he actually did get to play against Derek Carr in the AFC a couple of times. So he already knows what he's getting out of Derek Carr.
I want to say he done picked off Derek Carr a couple times, twice. Yeah,
Picked him off twice. So when we look at it, bro, we got something cooking, and now you're bringing veterans, and you got Mike Hughes who was in the AFC as well. So he got to go against Pat Mahomes every day. He got to go up against a lot of those passing teams that are in the AFC.
I'm glad you brought up Mike Hughes because this slot corner battle,
Yep.
this nickel corner battle, Mike Hughes, D. Alford, Clark Phillips the third or the second. Hey man, get your popcorn and your peanuts ready.
Hey man, we hold up. We can't listen. We can't have no El DeBarge secondary. We already got a lot of them El DeBarge brothers already running the offense, from Desmond Ritter to Tyler Algier, and then you got Drake London. Hey man, we got to have some chocolate in the secondary, dog. Can't have El DeBarge running the whole team now.
Hey, I always said we had to have us a light skinned quarterback. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, I thought nobody was gonna catch that. You caught that. And then, hey, you can't forget about Felton either. Felton is the other cornerback too.
I don't know. I got a love-hate relationship with Rashad Felton. You talking about Rashad Felton, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Rashad
I got a love-hate relationship. I don't think he's gonna make it.
Rashad might end up being a good special teams player, and he'll probably play in some nickel situations. I think he has enough that he can help us out on that side. And my man Anthony Moss just said all that beige rage don't make no sense. Well, I mean, look, DC about to turn back into Chocolate City. Magic Johnson already in the city, and they say Atlanta the city of black millionaires. Can we bring some more chocolate out? We already got all these El DeBarge brothers in the secondary. We can't do this. But how did the song go? How did the song go? The song go that they made, Time Will Reveal. I had to bring that back in. I'm an old school music lover too, so that's why I threw El DeBarge at the time. Will reveal what the Falcons are gonna do, but that's pretty much what we have for you. But definitely appreciate my guy Scoop, aka the Black Wall Street, coming through. And so let me make sure I put this out. When I say the Black Wall Street, I'm referencing to Tulsa, Oklahoma, the community that was burned down, because they had everything that was independent, and they brought a lot of independence to African Americans in this country. And when you talk about businesses, newspapers, hotels, doctors, lawyers, anything you could think of was in that community. And I use this gentleman as that because he has a lot of resources. Outside of his resources, he's independent. He does a lot of great work outside of what we do here in the BirdCage. So, I got to give a shout out to my guy right here. That is the reason why I had nicknamed you the Black Wall Street, brother. It wasn't just because of the news.
Oh man, it's respect, bro. I appreciate you.
So, if I give nicknames or whatnot, I give them for a reason or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just me sitting around here just cutting up. It's meanings behind a lot of the nicknames that we have, man. So, You got two of them. You know, you got Scoop, and then you got the Black. News, and then you have this. So definitely appreciate you coming through. Next time we got to get K Dub out of the traffic jam for real, as we see, and get him with a little, get him back in here, because you know Killer Kelly and K Dub always kills it when we bring it to him. So thank you again, brother, for coming on, and please make sure you guys check out us Thursday night, because what we have coming on is Billy White Shoes Johnson, the legendary Falcons kick returner / wide receiver. See, you got me about to get out the chair and start doing this dance right now. You know, you know that he wasn't. Look, that was the original Dirtybird. We had the Funky Chicken first before we had the Dirtybird, and Mr. Johnson did his thing. You know, y'all got me about to get up out of here and just start jamming like Mr. Johnson used to. But he's gonna be coming in Thursday for for an interview, for a short interview. He's going to talk to us about his career, talk to us about the Falcons, and a few other things that we have going on and whatnot with the team. So please check us out on Thursday. We definitely appreciate y'all checking us out in the traffic jam. We're going to try to do this once a week before the show. We're not just an interview show. We have interviews that come through, and we've been having it because training camp hasn't started. But we're going to have more Falcons material coming through for you guys. But we're still going to have interviews coming in, because we want you guys to have a well-rounded perspective on a lot of the great athletes that have come before. So, and also shout out to Coach George Williams for coming on for us last week. We definitely appreciate it. ESPN, get on your job. You do 30 for 30s for everything else. You got to do a 30 for 30 on Coach Williams. 39 national championships will never be duplicated. So please get on your horse, talk to the higher ups, do the right thing. This man is coached in the Olympics, and this man is also coached 39 national championships at St. Augustine College up in North Carolina. You know, HBCUs have contributed so much to this country athletically, and also within the fabric of this country when you're talking about building it. So please check it. Please, ESPN, get on your job, do what you do. But for me, I'm the historian. Thank you for coming through again. I love you guys. Y'all stay safe out there. And please, please, please tell anybody that you have in your family you love them, because you never know when you'll see them again. There's no such thing as no tomorrow. It's always live for today and tell people how you feel. I love you guys. I'm out. Ghosts.